Hello and welcome back. In the past video, we saw how to write some basic bash scripts using commands like echo. I'd like to continue on with those skills in this video and add some new information that's going to build on those previous skills. Let's start by opening up a terminal. Imagine I wanted to print our current working directory to the terminal. I could do that just by typing in pwd. I could also do that using our echo command. Now if I type echo pwd, it's just going to print or echo the string, the literal string pwd to the terminal. That's not what I want to do. Instead, how I have to do this is echo, and I have a variable that's capital P, capital W, capital D, that's keeping track of this information. And the reason why this works here is because pwd is an environment variable. So if I go to env and I look here at all of our environment variables, these are variables that are going to be defined for all shells. I have pwd, and it's being assigned a value of my current directory, root, home, and mic. Right? So that variable is defined. Now, I can't just write echo pwd. I have to type echo $pwd. And the reason why is the $sign is a special character that's performing parameter expansion. And what that's doing is it's saying, hey, let's look at the variable pwd and find the value that this variable holds, and let's echo that value. And so we're expanding the string to represent the value that the variable holds. See, if I just type out echo capital pwd, I get rid of the $sign. Well, now we're not expanding this variable. We're just treating it as a literal string. I can expand the variable to its value by using the $sign. And this is known as parameter expansion. Perfect. Except it's not always going to be that easy. What if I wanted to actually print or echo to the screen the literal string, like the $sign, a P, a W, and a D? Well, in order to do that, I would somehow have to tell the interpreter not to treat this $sign as a special character. I don't want that $sign to perform parameter expansion, but instead, I just want to treat it as a regular character, a literal string. In order to do that, I can put this inside of single quotes. And it looks like that works. So now I'm able to echo the $sign here. The single quotes have suppressed the expansion of the $sign. And there's double quotes too. And so if we look at using double quotes, let's see here, if I say echo with double quotes, $sign pwd, it looks like our output is very similar as if I just did parameter expansion on its own without the double quotes. And in our case it is, but it's not always going to be the case, and let's talk about why. See, there's lots of special characters in Bash, and the double quotes are going to treat all of the special characters except for the $sign, the backslash, and the backtick as ordinary characters. And so this is nice because sometimes those special characters can get us into some tricky scenarios, and using double quotes we can get out of them. But we're still able to use our parameter expansion character here, the $sign. Let's look at an example of maybe where this is going to come in handy. So I'm just going to define a variable, call it name, and I'm going to set it equal to John, space, 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 with lots of space, Mark, space, space, asterisk, Mark, space, Smith. Oh, and it says command is not, Mark command is not found. And it's because I've defined the variable name to equal John, and then the interpreter thinks Mark is a command that we should enter. And that command doesn't exist. So I can fix this by putting this whole thing in single quotes and treating it as a literal string. Wonderful. Now, what if I wanted to echo this variable to the screen? Well, I could try to echo name, and it will do what we expect it to do. It will just give me back name. I can use parameter expansion. I can put the $sign here to say, okay, instead of printing out the variable name, give me the value that this variable holds. But when I do this, something pretty interesting happens. It looks like we've got John and then just a single space. So a lot of this white space that I had entered has been removed. And then we have Mark. And then we don't have the asterisks that I wanted to appear. Instead, we have desktop documents, downloads, music, pictures, etc. So it seems like the asterisk was treated as a special character and it performed kind of some expansion, right? It listed all of the contents of my current directory, and then we have Smith. I definitely do not want that, right? This asterisk has given me an unexpected outcome here. So maybe I could suppress the asterisk from being treated as a special character. So let's try echo, and then maybe I'll use single quotes, $name, to suppress that. Well, it looks like I've suppressed the asterisk being treated as a special character, but I've also suppressed the $ being treated as a special character because it didn't perform the parameter expansion. If I use double quotes here, echo, $name, we get the best of both worlds. We have suppressed the expansion of the asterisk, but we have allowed the parameter expansion of the $. And so this is really nice. We've also kept all of our white space here as well. Now, we're going to talk about 3 different types of shell expansion: parameter, command, and arithmetic. So we've already talked about parameter expansion using just a single $. Command expansion is going to allow us to enter commands into our scripts, and we're going to do that by using $, and then we're going to put our commands inside of a set of parentheses here. For example, if I run the PS command, I just see a list of things that are running in my current terminal session. But maybe I want to echo a statement to the screen, something like, this terminal is running, and then I want to call the PS command. So if I do this, looks like I'm echoing the literal string. So it says this terminal is running PS. And this is exactly the same as if I put this whole thing inside of single quotes. Not really the behavior I want. So one of the things I might try to do is I might try to put a $ in front of the PS command, because we saw that that worked for variables. But when I do this, it leaves me, when I do this right now, it still gives me the literal string because I had single quotes around it, so it's printing $PS. Let me get rid of the single quotes, right? And so if I do this now, look here, it says this terminal is running, and then we have a blank. Because this $ is indicating parameter expansion. It's looking for a variable PS and giving its value. But I haven't defined a variable PS, and so there's no value stored there, and so nothing is echoed to the terminal. To express what I want, right, to get what I want, the behavior that I want, I have to use command expansion, not parameter expansion. So I'll put $ parentheses, and inside of the parentheses, I put my command. So PS. Now if I run this, it looks like this was executed. Right? I see bash and I see PS, what I'm running from this terminal, but the formatting is way off. And so we saw that we can use double quotes to sort of keep the formatting in our previous example. So if I say echo, this terminal is running, $, and then we'll use command expansion, PS, now I have the formatting the way that I want it, and that's a little bit nicer here. I can also have multiple commands inside of my command expansion. So for instance, I could say PS, and then I could I could pipe this to the grep command, and I could search for bash. And so I have that right here, right? We've gotten rid of the PS statement. Wonderful. So that's command expansion. Let's lastly look at arithmetic expansion. We can do arithmetic with not one set of parentheses, but 2 sets of parentheses, and we'll put our mathematics inside the parentheses here. So let's define some variables. We'll say x is equal to 8, y is equal to 10. And let's say I wanted to echo x times y. If I do that, it treats it as a literal string, just like it was inside of single quotes. Not what I want. I want to get the actual product here. So you might try echo, let's use the value of x, so we'll do some parameter expansion, times the value of y. We'll do parameter expansion again. And that that just prints the mathematical statement, right? 8 times 10. Again, not what I necessarily wanted. So you might say, okay, let's try to do this. Let's put it inside parentheses. We've tried that. That worked. So I'll have x times y. And it says, oh, the 8 times 10 command cannot be found because we're treating this as command expansion, right? And there is no command 8 times 10. And so in order to do the mathematics that we want, we have to do arithmetic expansion. And so inside of here, I'm going to put x times y. And we get 80, command not found. Oh, because I wanted to echo that to the screen. I'm sorry. Echo x times y. And we get 80. Perfect. Now, when we do this expansion, when we do arithmetic expansion, if you look here, white spaces don't matter. So I can have spaces here, so it reads a little bit better. And I also don't believe I have to perform parameter expansion. And we see there that is true. You don't have to perform that parameter expansion there. The interpreter knows to use the values rather than the variables. Okay, so I think this is a really good place to stop. We introduced 3 different forms of expansion: parameter expansion with a $sign and then maybe a variable name like PWD. Command expansion, a $sign with parentheses, and then you can put your commands in here like PS, maybe PS and then grep bash. And then lastly, arithmetic expansion using 2 sets of parentheses, and you can put some math, maybe like x plus y. And we saw the difference between using single quotes to print literal strings and double quotes to still allow for the expansion of the $sign while suppressing all the other special characters. We'll build on these skills in our next few videos, and hopefully we'll begin to write some scripts that can do some pretty cool stuff for us here in the terminal. I look forward to seeing you in our next video.